Welcome to Hello Tangent, the podcast where we talk about video games, comics, TV, movies, and desperately try to stay on topic. And I did not do that in the voice of Mike Tyson, but I really wanted to. And I'm your host, Clark, aka the Reverend Michael Snakebite. I haven't done this in like 3 weeks, so I'm kind of rusty. And I've got Garrett back.
Hey, I'm Garrett. I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm back.
So we've been dark for a couple of weeks now with holidays being super busy. This is going to double as like my announcement, not only as an episode, but for what we've been doing, working our asses off. Is really what we've been doing.
Oh, the joys of retail.
Oh yeah, seriously. So much fun. So yeah, with all that, we haven't been able to do anything, but we have good news. There's a lot of things on the horizon. We've got Garrett and I doing our Fast and Furious watch through and critique. We've got my new series that's coming up, which is my top 10 favorite games by the system or console. And then I've got a new series coming up. This is going to kick off 2021 that we're really excited about, where we're finally tackling Star Wars like as a topic. But instead of doing all the movies in one episode and things like that, and not really giving them their due, what we're going to do is actually take each movie, and I'm going to have a guest host come on and break it down with me. And I'll actually be recording the first episode of that tomorrow with Austin, doing episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And Garrett is going to do a couple of these. So
do 2 or 6.
2 or 6.
Hint, hint.
If I do them in order, that means you would be up second.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
But I don't know how scheduling is going to work, so I might just have to do them as the people are available, and we jump around the series.
Yeah.
It just happens to be Austin's doing episode 1, and he's going to be the first one to record. But
That's the best Star Wars.
But that's how 2021 is going to kick off, so that's exciting. But what we're going to do today is actually talk about, since it's the holidays, Christmas media, Christmas movies mainly, but we'll probably talk some Christmas music and debate over Christmas music. And what is and isn't a Christmas song. We'll get into it.
It's not a Christmas song, man.
We're going to have 2 disagreements. One is that I'm going to insist a song is a Christmas song, and I'm going to insist that a movie is not a Christmas movie. And you're probably going to be on the opposite side of both those fences. I already know it.
Yeah, probably.
So, but anyway, let's get into it by kind of saying what Christmas is to us. So, like, what is your Christmas memories? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I've always been a real big fan of Christmas. I was a terribly spoiled child for I would say the first part of my life. And then my parents got divorced, and then I had 2 Christmases, so it just made it better.
Silver linings.
So yeah, double Christmas. So I've always been big on Christmas up until later in life when it's become more of a pain. And I guess I see that now.
Yeah.
Is fuck Christmas.
You're at the age now where I hated Christmas because I had so many friends, and you felt obligated to like get presents for like when you have your big, like I was in college and I had all my like college friends, and like that group is like 50 people that I knew like regularly, was like always with and around.
It's a lot of fucking like all your friends. You feel like you got to do something with every group of friends, and you got to like get everybody something. And then sometimes somebody's going to get you something. You didn't get them anything.
Yeah. And then also when people are coming home that you haven't seen, they've like moved away and they're home visiting family. So you've got to run into all these people.
Yeah, it's a fucking disaster.
Yeah. So for me as a child, Christmas was pretty good. I had some pretty awesome gifts.
I think it's good for everybody as a child.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, generally, I guess. I'm sure there's some people that have it shitty out there.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of the
We
world.
Got gifts. We don't know poverty Christmas.
But as I got older, yeah, I started becoming a Grinch probably in high school. Honestly, by then Christmas was more of a pain in the ass than it was fun.
I think in the area where we live too, like, no, there's not a lot of snow. Winter doesn't feel like winter. It's just fucking cold.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks.
Yeah, there's nothing fun. It's cold and it's that bitter, humid.
And I feel like every year, like as a child, Christmas, it was definitely like, oh, it's Christmas time. And like you'd see the lights and everything. Now it feels like it decreases every year.
Yeah.
And like my excitement and like everybody's excitement. I feel like I see everybody. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, it starts to become like birthdays too.
Yeah,
it's just eventually you're like,
I didn't even celebrate like
Yeah.
my last birthday. So
yeah, I don't know. Christmas, like I said, I like the idea of someone being excited about Christmas, and I like waking up surprised, or like when Christmas movies start coming on TV.
yeah,
That's when I start being like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like, yeah, there's a whole thing going on in the country, and it's Christmas time. Like, but I don't. It happens so fast, and I work so hard around the holidays that it's really just that one day, and then it's like back to the grind. Like, I don't.
yeah.
You don't get to experience that whole New Year's Christmas week thing.
No, yeah, you get that day, and it's usually not even a day of relaxation. It's usually a day of like, all right, we gotta go here, then here, then here.
Travel around, eat 15 lunches.
Yeah, I gotta go to like 4 places on Christmas, like,
and then you gotta like portion yourself, because you're like, you'll go to like 4 different lunches or something, and it's like, let me have my spoonful of green bean casserole. Thanks, no pie. I've got to eat 4 pies later. So.
Listen, you're 5th on the list, so I'm not gonna be able to try your whatever casserole that is. No thanks, Judy.
If people plan, there should be someone that's got like the appetizers, and then and then the main course and the dessert.
Yeah, you go somewhere for breakfast, lunch, and then dinner. That'd be better.
Iconic Christmas,
rather than just eating 4 different turkeys.
But yeah, so we're mainly going to focus on movies, and we did completely half-ass this. You actually watched some movies.
I spent the week watching some movies that I love, and then I watched a few that I had never seen before, and ended up hating. And because I guess it's not hard to write a bad Christmas movie.
Yeah, and we'll probably get into this more, but...
And then there was a few I watched that I hadn't seen in a long time, and then my opinions have changed about them. So.
I feel like it's hard to write a new Christmas classic.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people are caught up in the classics already.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine there being a world without like a Christmas Story, but there was a time when there was no A Christmas Story, so it had to be like the new Christmas movie on the block. And same thing with Home Alone and things like that. Like, it's hard to write a...
Yeah, everybody's just rebooting everything now, and...
Yeah, like, in the new Christmas movies are like the Hallmark movies. They're not like... or if they try to be a comedy, like a raunchy comedy. But we'll get into all this. Let's start it off. What movie do we want to talk about?
I guess I'll start with my all-time favorite Christmas movie, which is Christmas Vacation.
All right.
With Chevy Chase and...
Beverly D'Angelo. Juliette Lewis.
Yep.
And then the kid from Big Bang Theory is the son.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
I don't know his name.
This is why I have IMDb up. Did you ever watch The Big Bang Theory, though?
I did.
So, not Shelton, but the other guy. The one that dates Kaylee Cuoco's character.
Leonard is his name.
Leonard. Yeah. I judge people solely based on who they date. It's Johnny Galecki.
Oh, John. Okay.
Yeah. So Johnny Galecki plays the son in Christmas Vacation. I don't know why I looked up Big Bang Theory when I should just look up Christmas Vacation, so we have it up there.
I think the reason Christmas Vacation is actually a really funny movie if you've never seen it.
It's probably my favorite of the vacation movies.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite of the vacation movies. The only other better vacation movie that would come close is definitely just, National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah. But it's like Chevy Chase's like physical comedy is like, there's like nobody better in my opinion. Like, he's just the funniest all around as far as physical comedy goes, and just like his facial expressions and shit.
Well, he doesn't have to oversell it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to oversell it. Like, just the like where the shit where he's like hanging the lights on the Christmas tree, and he's on the ladder, and he falls down, the ladder falls down. Like, all that's just hilarious to me. And he doesn't oversell it.
I forgot that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the neighbor too.
Yeah, from Seinfeld. Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
I have a sweater that says that.
There's some great lines in that movie.
Yeah, and it's definitely classic, and it gets referenced constantly. Like, I even have a Christmas ornament with their house on it, with all the lights all over the house. It's just stupid comedy.
And I love the nod to the original Vacation, because he has the Wally World mugs, the Marty Moose.
Yeah, Marty Moose.
But yeah, do you know they made a sequel to that movie?
They made a second one?
They made a sequel to Christmas Vacation.
Did they?
Called like Cousin Eddie's something.
Oh, I did know
which
that.
Randy Quaid obviously plays Cousin Eddie. Yeah, I never watched that, and I don't have any desire to, but I just wanted to bring it up that it has a sequel.
I've never seen it. The only people that ever remain the same in any of those movies are Chevy Chase and
Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah, and fucking Randy Quaid. He's in
and Randy Quaid.
Pretty much all of them.
Yep.
So
even the wife disappeared. Catherine.
Yeah.
That Miriam Flynn played her. Yeah, she disappears and she's not in.
Yeah,
she's not in Vegas. No, she is in Vegas.
She's in Vegas, but the kids always change.
Kids always change. Yeah. Or they grow up and
they grow.
They look. I think it's never.
Different. Yeah, the one time the kid has blonde hair, then he has brown hair in the next movie.
Yeah, I remember European Vacations. So I saw Vacation, and the second one I saw was European Vacation, and the fact that the kids changed bugged me so much that I didn't like European Vacation for a long time.
I think I got over it. I think I didn't care.
Yeah, by Christmas Vacation I didn't care because honestly, Johnny Galecki and Juliette Lewis are probably my favorite kids of the whole whole series.
But it reminds, if you have a big family that you do something with your whole entire family for Christmas, it kind of reminds you, or is reminiscent of that because they're all wacky and crazy and everybody has weird family members. So.
The animals running around,
the animals, the cat
gets fried, and the dog that's choking on the bone,
and then the old senile grandparents.
Yeah. So I get people yell that at me all the time.
Where's my stogie?
So obviously the grandma or whatever, or great aunt, whatever she is, I get people yell that at me all the time is the "don't push me down" clock. So that's one thing I can say I don't like. I like and don't like about these movies is I have a rare enough name to where I don't. It shocks me when I see someone else with that name, because I don't run in. Other than Superman, Clark Kent.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of pop figures or pop culture figures that have the name Clark, and so it always really throws me off, especially if I meet another Clark in public. It's really weird to me because I kind of want to go Highlander on him and just be like, there can only be one. I feel weird when I hear my name called out because it's so rare.
I think there's enough versions of my name to where I'll always be like, is it two T's? You got two T's? Yeah. And they'll be like, yeah, two T's.
No, bros.
Yeah, bros. You got one T, get out of my face. I don't want to be with you.
Yeah, so Clark's. It's weird watching those movies, hearing my name called out that often because I don't hear my name that often. Well, I mean, I do at work, but
Clark.
So it's funny when you have very famous movie quotes that involve your name.
Yeah,
"Don't push me down, Clark."
But yeah, it's just a lot of
"Is your house on fire, Clark?" But yeah, Christmas Vacation, great movie. Probably my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think that it's a tough one to beat, definitely.
Good place to start. Should we tackle Home Alone next?
Yeah, I put Home Alone down. Home Alone 1, 2, and 3 are all Christmas movies.
There is a 4.
There's 5 or 6 in total. God. And I know one of them's actually called, the newest one that came out, and I haven't seen it. It's called, The Holiday Heist. And
I've only seen the first 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen up to 5.
I only like the first 2.
Yeah, 3 sucks.
3 is terrible. 3 is garbage. That kid is garbage.
Yeah.
Everything in that movie, the criminals are garbage.
Scarlett Johansson's in that movie.
She is?
She's the older sister.
Oh, man.
That was one of her beginning roles, I guess.
Obviously I wouldn't have noticed or remembered that probably.
I did.
I first remember. I
was watching Avengers and that's a girl from Home Alone 3.
Only you would do the backwards logic. So I first ever saw Scarlett Johansson in Eight-Legged Freaks. Yeah. I saw that in the theaters and I was like, and I was her age at the time, so it wasn't creepy. I was just like, oh, she's kind of hot, because I was 15 and she was 16 in that movie. And I think that's how old we're the same age. That's really weird to think about.
That's weird. Yeah, that is weird to think about.
She's definitely done better than I have.
She did something you didn't, bud. Should have took that role in Home Alone 3.
Should have. Man, I could have been the kid. Yeah, she is. She's my age. So, see, it's not weird for me to have thought she was hot when she was 16.
Wait, no, she's not. I don't think she's the older sister in Home Alone 3. I think she is she's one of the heist people.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is.
There's no way.
She might not be.
There's Home Alone: The Holiday Heist. It came out in 2012.
Yeah. That's what,
oh, Lord.
No, she is. Okay, she is the older sister.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way, because that came out in 1997.
Yeah, okay.
So she would have been 13.
Jesus. Yeah, she was the older sister. I don't know why we're on Home Alone 3. We need to get off that.
Yeah, we need to talk about. Let's talk about the good ones. All right, so the original Home Alone. I would actually put this up there. Almost say that I like it as much as Christmas Vacation.
I do too, and it's another movie that I watch every single year, and I'll even watch it if it's not Christmas. It's just a really good film.
So Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern obviously play the criminals, and they're probably
the wet bandits.
The wet bandits. Then they become the sticky bandits.
Yeah, with the sticky bandits.
So the wet bandits. I love the backstory of this. That Joe Pesci, the mumbling that he does in that movie, comes from the fact that he couldn't curse.
Oh, is it?
So
that's
like
why.
whenever his character is it Marv or Harry. Marv is Daniel Stern.
Yeah.
So whenever Harry is doing like the
it's because he couldn't.
It's because Joe Pesci was so used to just naturally cursing in between words. So he did so many mobster movies and stuff.
Well, the funny thing I found out about Joe Pesci is like that was a tough guy. Joe Pesci was a mobster.
Yeah.
And then he's in Home Alone, and that's what I grew up with. So it's like.
Yeah,
Joe Pesci's not a big guy. I could take Joe Pesci
until he breaks your kneecaps.
And then I watched Goodfellas, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I don't know.
I was afraid to see what they do to Kevin.
Yeah, if they'd actually caught Kevin. Well, they do threaten him. They're like cut his fingers off and stuff.
They said they told me he's going to cut his fingers off, and then the second one he has a gun.
Yeah. He tries to shoot someone, and it's all gooed up.
Yeah, he tries to shoot the bird lady.
The bird lady.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Pigeon lady or whatever.
Do you think he didn't learn anything from the first movie? Because he's scared of the shovel guy in the first movie. He's scared of the old man that shovels the snow.
Yeah. No, well, he does. In the second, if you watch the second one again, like he's in Central Park, and then the pigeon lady comes out or whatever.
And he says, gross.
No, he doesn't say, he screams right in her fucking face. He's, and then he runs, and he gets about 40 feet, and he stops.
I'm sorry.
And he turns around and he goes, my bad. I'm sorry. He did learn, but like he didn't learn quick enough, like if I was that pigeon lady, I would be like, all right, scream in my fucking face. My hearing's already bad. I'm homeless.
So speaking of those two characters, he has I'll say the literal come to Jesus moment with him in a church in both movies. Do you ever realize that?
Yeah.
Like he talks to the old man in the church because the old man's grandson's in the choir.
Yeah.
And he talks to the lady. I think her kid's in a choir or something too.
I think were they in an opera house or were they in a church?
They were in the balcony. They were in like the loft of the church in the second one.
Yeah.
And in the first one, they're in the pews in the church.
Okay, that's right.
But I just think that's funny is because it being a Christmas movie.
Well, the best thing, Home Alone's a great film. Even if it's not like, you're not even talking about Christmas films, it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
And the only reason Home Alone 2 is as good as Home Alone 1 is because it's the exact same movie, just in New York.
Yeah, bigger scenes.
It's the exact same shtick.
It's what you do with video games too.
Yeah.
Like, this video game was a hit. What do you do? Make it open world or make it bigger.
They do like all the jokes are pretty much the same. But they're still great films in my opinion. I like Home Alone 2 more than I like Home Alone 1.
Yeah, fair. And we're not really talking about plot on these. I just realized, it's like, do we need to go into plot on these movies? Or
I'm sure everyone's seen Home Alone.
Yeah, if anyone's listening to this, like,
if you haven't seen Home Alone, go get off your ass. Yeah. Watch Home Alone.
Same thing with Vacation. If you haven't seen Christmas Vacation, go watch it. I'm not going to tell you. It's a Christmas movie. It's things happen. There's a sad moment, and then people are happy. There you go. That's every
I wouldn't
Christmas
even say
movie.
Christmas Vacation had a plot. It was more just
really.
like this is what happens when people come home for Christmas.
Yeah, for 12 days following it, like.
Doesn't
it start 12 days and everything? Like
yeah, because they have the little thing.
The windows.
Yeah. The plot of Home Alone is Kevin gets left while they go to Florida for Christmas. That's a weird thing to do for Christmas.
They go to Florida the first time, yeah, and then the second one they go to Paris or something.
They go to Paris, yeah.
Yeah. So they go to Florida and they're miserable because it's like raining because that's what it does in the South. And for those listening that aren't from the South where we are, it snows once every 5 years maybe. And our winters are just bitter and rainy and cold unless you go down to the bottom of Florida where it's still like 85 degrees. Well, I mean, we're recording this 10 days away from Christmas and it is 70 something out.
Yeah, it was pretty warm today.
Yeah. So it's just kind of how it goes here.
Then, and then they leave Kevin twice.
Mm-hmm.
And they gotta go back and fucking get him. On the second one, they don't leave him. They get him.
I can't believe CPS wasn't called on them. for leaving him twice. It's like, come on, guys, it happened again. You know, authorities had to get involved.
Yeah, they definitely. Especially like when like
there was a break-in, there was a crime that happened at the house with the kid home.
Kevin's also a little bit of an idiot because like if you got on the wrong flight and then you end up in New York, go tell an adult.
Yeah,
tell someone that works like, hey, I'm not supposed to be here.
Anyone.
They'll get you back to your family. They'll get you to Paris. I'll give you a free plane ticket.
Oh man,
I'll send you to Paris, Kevin.
Those movies could never happen now with TSA.
Yeah,
like no.
Yeah, because they don't even check his ticket because she drops all the tickets and she's like, I'm not going to count these.
Yeah,
that would be like, me though. I'd be like, all right, get on the plane.
And the terrorist win, Garrett.
But well, there's also a lot of continuity errors in Home Alone, if you didn't know. Like the reason they can't call Kevin is because the phone lines go out because of the power, the power goes out.
They crash into the telephone.
Yeah, they crash into the telephone pole. But at the end of the movie, when Marv and Harry are trying to get Kevin, he goes and calls the cops to his house.
He does it and then he goes to the treehouse.
Yeah, and then he goes to the treehouse. But he called him from his kitchen.
Maybe he just didn't answer the phone.
No, the whole thing is they're like, I can't get home. Something's wrong with the phone.
Is there never a scene where you see the repairman or anything?
I don't think there is.
I'm gonna say that the deleted scenes.
Deleted. They cut it.
Fixing someone's down there splicing wires.
But yeah, if you haven't seen those two movies, you don't really got to go into plot. Get off your ass, go watch them. They're great films.
Do you like the theory? I think I don't know if we talked about this on our fan theories episode, but the theory that Kevin McAllister becomes Jigsaw.
I don't know. I don't remember if we talked about that either. But yeah, I do like that theory.
So him setting all the traps. So obviously the whole shtick of Home Alone is that he sets all these traps for these burglars that are trying to break into his house, protecting his house. It's like the ultimate kid fantasy.
Yeah.
And yeah, hilarity ensues. And these two guys take a beating that no humans could actually take.
Like they get caught on fire. One of them turns into a skeleton.
Yeah, from electrocution. I was about to say, God bless Daniel Stern's scream in that. They're great in that movie.
They are. They should get them back together.
They, I think on Netflix. Have you seen The Movies That Made Us?
No, I haven't seen it.
So there's the toys that made us and the movies that made us.
I've seen the toys that made us.
So if you watch the movies that made us, one of them I think is Home Alone.
Oh wow!
And Daniel Stern is in it, being interviewed a lot. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. We also got to mention Home Alone 2, Tim Curry, and Rob Schneider,
and
star of Deuce Bigelow.
Rob Schneider. There's actually there's a lot of characters that are like in Home Alone that are in Seinfeld too. It's really weird. Like Rob Schneider, like there's a few of them. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
But
Tim Curry wasting his epic talents on Home Alone 2.
Yeah, Tim Curry, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Former President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is in Home Alone 2, New York, Lost in New York. Also, I want to talk about the movie, the Angels with Filthy Souls and Angels with Filthier Souls in the sequel. Those movies for the longest time, like they were so well done convincingly.
I thought they were real.
I thought they were real movie. Like I thought it was some bad, weird B noir movie or something. But yeah, those were made strictly for Home Alone. Like they filmed those.
Yeah, I always thought those were. It wasn't until honestly recently that I found out that those aren't real movies, and I was like, oh, I would have loved to see that. A fun fact: a lot of people think Tim Allen has done the most Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do your searching, he is not. Catherine O'Hara, the mom from Home Alone, has actually been in the most Christmas movies.
Nice.
In both Home Alones and The Nightmare Before Christmas, if you consider that a Christmas film, and Surviving Christmas.
She's also in Beetlejuice for Halloween movies.
Yeah, she's in Beetlejuice too, isn't she?
She was killing it, man, in the 80s and 90s. Like from that period of like 88 to like 94, she was just killing it, man.
An amazing agent.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go into my next favorite Christmas film, because Home Alone would have been my second pick too. Fucking Jingle All the Way.
Oh, that was my next one. I've already got it up.
Jingle All the Way is like one of my favorite Christmas films.
You heard me typing it. You heard the amount of letters, because that's exactly what I just typed in.
And that's one that at least in my generation, a lot of people haven't seen.
Yeah.
So so it's Jake Lloyd's only other role besides the Phantom Menace. And it's about mattress salesman Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is that what I forgot? He sold mattresses?
He was a mattress salesman. He like works all the time, and his neighbor wants to fuck his wife. And
Phil Hartman plays the neighbor. This was Phil Hartman's last role too.
Oh, was it?
Before he died, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Or before he was murdered, should I say. Let's not take it away from him. He went out. He didn't just, died after making a movie. No. Yeah, he got offed.
Oh. He got off? How'd he get off?
His wife killed him.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
She was, now I don't want to mess up the story here for any Phil Hartman fans out there, but his wife was having like drug problems or something and all this stuff. And he was trying to get her help. He was like supposedly like really good, upstanding, like trying to get her help and all this stuff. And she was like going crazier and crazier. And I don't know if it was just drugs or if it was mental illness or a mix of the two, but she fucking shot him while he was asleep.
Shit. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow. But yeah, so Arnold Schwarzenegger misses his kid's karate tournament or something, and his wife's real mad at him, and his son's real mad at him. Your dog's trying to murder me.
Chill.
And so he wants to make it up to his son. So he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get you exactly what you want. I'm gonna get you the Turbo Man." And
this is also a play on. So this came out in 1996, and you were too young to remember it if you were even born. But so you can still look up YouTube clips probably from the news in the late 90s. This was like, do you remember Elmo?
Yeah.
Elmo's been, all right, so even before Elmo was probably the most famous example of a toy that parents couldn't find anywhere, Tickle Me Elmo, because it was such a big deal.
Really?
And it was like the super hot thing. Like people were getting fights in like malls and toy stores over these things. And it kind of goes back because Furbies were the thing for a while. And then like the troll dolls were a thing. And then, gosh, what was that other one that was?
Cabbage Patch Kids were big.
Yeah, they're a little
apparently.
older, but this is pre the 90s advertising craze.
Oh, okay.
It's really the mid-late 90s is when it took off, where every year there was one toy that was like the hot toy that people would literally stab each other over. like parents like getting into fist fights and
that's what
Turbo
Man's supposed to be.
And Turbo Man's supposed to represent. It's a rare toy, or not rare, but it's like limited.
The hottest toy of the year.
Selling out. No one can keep them in stock. And so now let's get back into the plot. I just had to describe.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was the hottest toy of the year or whatever. But yeah. So he promises his son he's gonna get him Turbo Man, the hottest toy of the year. Not only does he promise him that he's gonna get him the most sold out toy, he fucking says it on Christmas Eve. So good luck, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he's searching for this toy, and it's kind of like an adventure movie in a sense. It's really, but like Sinbad's there. Sinbad's trying to get the toy for his kid.
Yeah, so Sinbad we'll go ahead and hit him real quick. He plays a postman.
Yeah, he's the postman.
Who's also trying to get this toy for his kid on Christmas Eve. And he's kind of stalking, like following. He ends up in the same places as, once he finds out that Arnold Schwarzenegger's looking for it, he starts following him around because he's like, I'm going to intercept it. Yeah. Basically, this guy is on the hunt and I'm just going to trail him. So it's kind of got a spy movie thing to it too. but yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, and so they so it's just like about them both like getting shit out of luck, trying to get this toy. And then the ending, I love the ending of that movie where they're both, Arnold Schwarzenegger end up in a parade, and he's dressed up as Turbo Man.
Yeah, he stumbles into the dressing room or whatever.
Yeah,
and they put the they think he's the actor because he's all ripped and everything, and so they put the Turbo Man costume on him for the parade.
And then Sinbad he's in the arch nemesis costume,
Dementor.
Yeah,
and so he becomes, and so their showdown comes to a real life fight over this toy figure, and it's like a limited edition one too.
Yeah, it's a limited edition, but at the end of it, Arnold Schwarzenegger actually gets to present the limited edition one to his son, and Jake Lloyd, and Jake Lloyd ends up giving it to Sinbad to give to his son, and because he's like, I
got the real Turbo
Man. I got the real Turbo Man, my dad, and it's a happy ending. If only Jake Lloyd could get a happy ending in real life, it'd be.
and he lived happily ever after.
And that's it.
That's it. Jake Lloyd rides off into the sunset, head held high, having never regretted joining Hollywood and getting a SAG card.
Yeah, so, but if you haven't seen that, that's definitely a great movie to go watch.
Spoiler alert, 3 years later, Jake Lloyd becomes Anakin Skywalker and ruins his life. So, two things I want to hit on the journey to getting to the ending parade. They do a radio contest, like where they have to name the 8 reindeer.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to get to a payphone to win. And then he goes to the radio show to pick up his prize. And isn't it like just a voucher for the thing? It's not even the real toy.
Yeah, it's not even the real toy.
So he thinks he won the toy. Yeah. And then Sinbad holds up the post office with a bomb because he's pretending. He's basically got a package and he's like, "There's a bomb in here. Do you know how many people send bombs through the mail?" And then it actually ends up being a bomb. And you get a great Sinbad one-liner where he's like, "What's wrong with people?" And it's just, so I love that scene. And then I love the underground Santa crime ring that's led by Jim Belushi. My bad. John Belushi's dead. Another SNL guy that's dead. I just got sad. So Jim Belushi plays like this mall Santa crime syndicate leader. And it's all these mall Santas that are like heisting toys. And they're all knockoffs. They're all like Chinese knockoffs and stuff. Yeah. And Sinbad
goes there too. Yeah. He like finds them there.
And they get he gets a Turbo Man, but then it like falls apart because it's like a cheap knockoff. So the arms fall off and everything. And he gets mad and starts getting into this epic brawl with all these mall Santas, including I don't know this dude's real name. The WE wrestler, the Big Show.
Oh yeah, the Big Show's in it. He's from South Carolina.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And he's actually the big it's the big boss fight for that scene, and it's pretty funny. He actually dwarfs Arnold Schwarzenegger too. Yeah. Like that that's a big man.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
So anyway, those are two of my favorite little favorite scenes. Also, I want to mention the other toy, Booster, which is the sidekick. It's like this pink dog looking sidekick for Turbo Man, and like everywhere they go, they find like lots of Booster toys, but can't find Turbo Man. And this just speaks to my childhood so much because I remember there being like the figures that you could find everywhere, but you never find the one you wanted. But it's like, oh, they got 50 of this one.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a guy who collects,
yeah, everybody wanted Darth Vader, nobody wanted Greedo.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you've got another like the Imperial like officers with the weird shield hats on. Got 50 of these. No Yodas. All right. Where do we want to go from here?
You go into your next movie.
Well, mine would have been Jingle All the Way.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to pick, let's see here. Let's talk about A Muppet Christmas Carol.
I didn't even think of that one. And I watched all the Muppets movies recently.
So, yeah, we had a disagreement about this one, which is shocking because I love Muppet Christmas Carol. I love that movie. I don't think
Muppets Christmas Carol is the best Muppets movie. You think that's the best one, right?
No, I think Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh, you think Treasure Island's the best one? I don't think Treasure Island's the best one. Christmas Carol, I also don't think it's the best one. I think Muppets 2011 is the best one.
That one has Jason Segel in it?
Yeah, and Amy Adams.
Huh. Nah. I'm going with no on all of it. I have to watch that one, though. But yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol is great because I think they do great jobs with taking old literature and basically inserting Muppets.
Yeah, they've always been good about that.
And so we have Gonzo as narrator because that's usually what he does. And then we have Kermit as Bob Cratchit. Tiny Tim is just a miniature Kermit. I don't even know if that frog has a name. It's another frog Muppet that's just a smaller version of Kermit. He plays Tiny Tim. Miss Piggy is his wife, obviously. And we have Michael Caine, obviously the star of the movie, who is plays Ebenezer Scrooge. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much just the story of A Christmas Carol with Muppets, but some great songs in there, gotta say. I actually really like the songs. What was I thinking, though? It was I blanked out on thinking about Michael Caine singing is terrible in that movie. He doesn't really sing. He just kind of speaks bouncily along, like with the lyrics.
So in the I just looked it up. His name is Tiny Tim. He's Tiny Tim.
He was created for
just for that film. Yeah. He's just a small Kermit. They could have got somebody else to do that.
Also, the Muppet that plays Death, or like the Ghost of Christmas Future or whatever, is pretty freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Muppet Grim Reaper.
I think back in the day, they were like, kids were definitely, I don't want to say they were, I guess, tougher or whatever, but like, they didn't give a fuck about scaring kids back in the day.
No.
So.
I lived it. That's why I have such dark humor now.
But yeah, Muppet's Christmas Carol's great. One that I put on here, this, I didn't even realize this was a Christmas film until the other night. Gremlins.
Yeah.
Gremlins is a Christmas film.
Gremlins is a Christmas film. I'd always forget about that too.
Yeah. So, and I have a few on here that are like that. Like Little Fockers is a Hanukkah film.
Yeah.
But Gremlins, I love Gremlins. I grew up with Gremlins. My dad made me watch it all the time. So,
yeah.
But,
I saw the second one in theaters.
You did?
I did. I was super young. I haven't rewatched Gremlins in a very long time, so I don't remember the first one as much as I remember the second one, and I think that's because I saw it in theater, so I kind of connected to it more.
Okay.
So like I always can remember things from the second movie, but I don't remember other than him getting, and then was it Mowgli or whatever it was?
Mowgli.
That's what he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Mowgli.
Mowgli is from Jungle Book, right?
Yeah,
I get these mixed up. I get these things mixed up all the time.
Confused now.
What's the Mogwai's name then, or whatever?
Gizmo.
Gizmo. Thank you. Gizmo. When he gets Gizmo from the old dude, that's like the only part of the movie I remember. Is
in
up
the
to
actual
that point.
Gremlins. That's the only.
Yeah, up into the point when he gets. Does he get food after midnight and then he starts spawning?
So what happens pretty much in the Gremlins? I mean, he gets him from the Chinese. His dad's an inventor, and he's like one of those like. Kind of like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids inventor where he can't invent shit. And
this doesn't benefit humanity at all.
The thing he's pretty much sold on, I think he goes to China to like pitch his like idea, and it's like a travel companion or whatever for planes where you can shave and brush your teeth with it and it has toothpaste built into it. And while he's there, he's like, oh, I got to get my child a Christmas gift. Let's go to this weird, sketchy Chinese shop.
You would never get that past customs now.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh.
So let's go ahead and do plot holes right here. You can't bring back animals from foreign countries.
And the terrorists win. But yeah, so then he gets Gizmo, he gets Mogwai, and he's like, and the Chinese dude doesn't want to give it to him at first, but he's like, all right, if I give this to you, there's some rules, and he tells him the rules, and it's you can't feed it after midnight. Sunlight will kill him, and the main one is never let him touch water.
Yeah, never let him get wet. And
never ever let him get wet. Yeah, no. The main one is don't feed them after midnight. They cannot eat after midnight. But if they get wet, so Gizmo ends up getting wet, and what happens when they get wet is they multiply. So like, okay, it's like 5 or 6 other gremlins pop out, and there's the leader Spike, or I think that's what they call him. Spike. He has a mohawk. Yeah. And all the gremlins that like come out from him getting wet are just shitheads. Like, they are not as cool as Gizmo. Gizmo's the coolest one. He like sings with you. He's got
fur.
He's got fur.
All the gremlins are scaly and nasty.
Imagine like a better looking Furby. That's what Gizmo pretty much was.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. And so
I had a Gizmo doll.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. And then after that, so I can't even remember the main character's name. The guy who gets Gizmo, his son.
Let's click on it and see.
Yeah, but he's like trying to take care of all these gremlins, and it's not really working out because most of them are assholes, and they end up getting in the fridge at night after midnight, and they eat, and when gremlins eat, turns out they turn into fucking monsters of hell and start wreaking havoc over all the town.
Is Corey Feldman the kid in that movie?
Is it? Is that the kid from Free Willy? No, it's not the kid from Free Willy, is it?
No. Corey Feldman was like in The Goonies and Stand By Me. He's in like every 80s movie.
Is that the same kid?
He's in Gremlins, but I don't know what the kid's name is, so I don't know if this is.
If you say the name, I'll know.
Pete. There's a Pete. There's a Billy.
Okay, I don't know.
Billy Peltzer or Randall Peltzer.
I don't know. But yeah, and then there's really cool, like, I guess you could say it's like horror, where like the mom's in the house and all these gremlins are like hiding in the house, and she has to kill a bunch of. She like microwaves one of them. And she like stabs one of them. As a kid, it was pretty gruesome.
That is brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal now looking back on it.
They are making a TV show in 2021 of Gremlins.
Are they?
Yep.
Oh wow!
Called Gremlins: Secret of the Mogwai.
Shit.
Yeah.
They turn every 80s property into a TV show now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's what sucks. But yeah, that's actually a kind of like a secret Christmas film if you want to watch something that's.
I wonder when Gremlins 2 took place. If it's,
I'll say 89.
I mean, it did come out in 1990, which is 6 years after the original. That's crazy.
Is it? Wow.
So my parents took me to see Gremlins 2, the new batch, when I was 7 years old.
I can't even remember what happens in Gremlins 2 or 3.
You wonder why I'm so fucked up. It's literally listed as comedy, fantasy, horror. Exact same runtime. Those two movies have the exact same runtime. What are the odds of that?
I wonder if that was planned.
I don't know. And Gremlins 2 is the one where they take over like a news building. Like and like the different floors, and they like have it like basically like held in lockdown, like another Christmas movie.
Is it a Christmas movie?
It's not, but it has,
it's
like kind of funny that it's kind of funny that Gremlins 2 is eerily similar to Die Hard. But in this one, I liked it because you got the spinoff Gremlins, like the ones that like evolved.
Yeah.
So in this one, you had one that flew. It had like bat wings, and then there's one that's it's like a spider, and it like goes into the ventilation shafts of the building and is like building webs and stuff. And when they're like trying to escape the building, like they go into the ventilation shaft, and there's this big ass spider gremlin chasing them, and it's like terrifying.
Yeah, now looking back at it, Gremlins is kind of.
I should not have seen that when I was 7.
Scary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard.
So it had to be Zach Galligan who plays Billy Peltzer. That's got to be the kid because he's back as the top build in the second one.
Okay, then yeah.
Christopher Lee is in. Wow.
Christopher Lee's in Gremlins?
Count Dooku's in Gremlins 2.
What does he do in Gremlins 2? I'm going to have to go back and watch Gremlins 2 now.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch this movie now that we've talked about him. All right. Let's move on. Next Christmas property.
Yeah, let's just move straight into Die Hard then.
Die Hard, all right.
It's one of my all-time favorite films. And a lot of people say it's their favorite Christmas film, and I'd be on the top of that list, but I don't know if I consider Die Hard a Christmas film anymore. I definitely used to, and probably still do.
I am not all about this Die Hard as a Christmas movie train.
It takes place during Christmas time.
I rewatched it recently, and I still like Die Hard, but I think it's what we call a Christmas adjacent movie. It takes place during Christmas. I don't think it is a Christmas movie, like with the Christmas spirit in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a Christmas movie should be defined by like a lesson learned or a
don't fuck with Bruce Willis is the lesson.
Okay.
That's the lesson fucking Hans learns at the end of that film.
What's his brother's name?
What, in the third one?
Yeah, the other Gruber. It's Jeremy Irons plays him, but
what is it?
That's two great casting. By the way. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber, and then Jeremy Irons as his brother is some of the best casting ever. But so yeah, I rewatched it recently, and I don't even know what made me like it. I think it was just coming on, and I was like, "Hey, Die Hard." I haven't seen.
His name is Simon Peter. In the
what?
Yeah, that's his name is Simon.
I thought he's still
Simon Peter Gruber.
Oh, okay. I was like, he's still a Gruber though.
Yeah, Simon Peter - Gruber.
Got you. So is he like a half brother?
I don't know.
That's weird.
That's what it says on the fucking IMDb. So
either way, but rewatching Die Hard. I think I rewatched it mainly too because it's really only been the last few years that this whole Die Hard is the best Christmas movie ever has been like a thing.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a big thing in like the 90s or like even 2000s. Like it's like now when people watch it, they're like, oh, it's my favorite Christmas movie.
And I don't know if the TV show brought that up or something. Like I don't know where that started, but I never considered it a Christmas movie. I didn't think of it being like a holiday tradition. Like I need to watch this movie on Christmas.
I watch that movie a couple times a year. So.
Die Hard's still badass.
I pull out the Beretta and
pull out the Beretta.
And Die Hard's also one of my, like, if you're like into firearms and guns and stuff, that's a great movie for that too.
I was really trying to avoid a roller delay blowback conversation.
Oh well, here we are.
But
you're with me. So that movie's branded HK as hell.
They should have like sponsored that movie.
They should because it's all MP5s and it's all and then fucking he has a P7. So and that's a really cool gun. And then Alan Rickman was actually terribly afraid of guns. And you can see like when he kills what's the guy's name at the tower? The head of the tower, the Asian dude.
Oh, Nakamura.
Yeah, Nakamura or whatever. He shoots him and he like jumps. He's like super scared. So
I also like the fall at the end.
Yeah, the fall. You were the one who told me that.
Yeah.
They dropped him on purpose.
Yep.
They were like 3, 2.
Yeah, they said we're gonna count to 3 and drop you, and they're like 1, and they just let him just let him go. So
that's a great way to get a natural reaction.
Yeah, that look on his face is real terror of someone falling because he did not know that was coming.
It's the perfect way to get acting is using real terror.
Yeah, it's scary. Never backfires.
You know what I've noticed? A lot of Christmas movies they have terrorists in them.
Yeah.
Terrorists and burglars and
yeah.
At least all the ones we've talked about.
You got to create conflict somewhere, right? If you're in a writer's room and you're trying to come up with a Christmas movie, like how fast before your mind goes to like, hear me out, terrorists.
But yeah. So I don't know if I consider it a Christmas film anymore.
So here's the one that I will one up it with that I think is more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard.
What's that?
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns?
Batman Returns is more of a Christmas movie.
Which one is
Hard.
Batman Returns?
That's the second one with Penguin and Catwoman.
Okay, yeah.
So Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
That is my favorite version of Penguin ever in any type of media.
That might be one of my favorite Tim Burton movies, period.
Yeah.
I really like that movie.
It's
dark.
You know I don't like a lot of Tim Burton movies.
I can see that.
I never got hooked on with his shit. I don't know.
I was kind of weird with Edward Scissorhands. I never really got
but the thing, I really like Edward Scissorhands. Maybe it's because I like Johnny Depp. So.
Maybe. But I like Beetlejuice. I like the 2 Tim Burton Batman movies. And we'll talk about Nightmare Before Christmas, which is another Christmas movie, or is it more? That's another one.
It on my list, so
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tim Burton. But no, Batman Returns is probably, I don't know, that's one of my favorite, like, it really is.
Is that one of your favorite Batman films?
Yeah.
Is it?
I like it because it's so dark. It is bleak.
It is pretty dark.
And there's like a lot of death and a lot of gore in that movie. Not gore for that genre
that time period,
and that time period. Like he bites a dude's nose off.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
I think my favorite Batman movie is Batman Forever.
Still.
Any Joel Schumacher Batman property is my favorite.
Yeah, that's not a Christmas movie though, so we'll tackle that at another time. But yeah, Batman Returns, the whole movie takes place during Christmas. There's the big Christmas tree in the square. It's snowing in the whole movie, which, I mean, Die Hard takes place in LA, so there is no snow.
Yeah.
But Batman Returns has that more Christmas feel because there's snow everywhere.
Yeah.
I love the whole weird dark circus carnival gangster ring that follows Penguin around. It starts on Christmas because Penguin's born at the very beginning when they give him up.
Oh yeah.
Which the parents, by the way, are Paul Rubens and Diane. What's her name? It's like Salinger or something. It's Peewee, Herman, and Simone. Have you noticed that?
No, never noticed that. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Have you ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yeah.
So you know Simone, the diner waitress that he meets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Paul Rubens and that actress Diane, like Salinger or whatever her name is. They're the Penguin's parents in the beginning of that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look up like Batman Returns, Penguin's parents, and look at the photo. It'll creep you out because you're like, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
It's really good.
At the time of me seeing it, I definitely wouldn't have known.
No, at the time I would, like when it first came out, I wouldn't have noticed that ever. But later, yeah, because Paul Rubens is an interesting character.
That's an interesting one. That's one I did not think about as being a Christmas film.
But yeah, it all takes place. His birthday's on, or when he's born on Christmas is when they give him up and they send him down river, and then it takes place when he's back at Christmas again when he's older because they're doing the whole lighting of the Christmas tree scene and all that. And he's like kidnapping the kids or taking the firstborn children on Christmas, like Eve or whatever. So yeah, that's absolutely a Christmas movie to me. And that lesson is don't mess with Batman.
No, don't fuck with Batman. Lesson learned.
It also has Christopher Walken in that movie as Max Shrek.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It does.
So there's some good people in it. That movie's actually
pretty good
well
cast.
acted. Yeah.
I have this is actually a not similar to anything we've just mentioned. Just Friends. It's a Christmas movie. Have you ever seen it? It's Ryan Reynolds.
I know it's Ryan Reynolds, but who else is it?
Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Anna Faris.
I have seen that one.
Yeah, it came out like mid 2000s.
Okay, so
that's actually I like a lot of romantic comedies.
Let's do Clark trying to remember a plot of this movie. So Ryan Reynolds was like this chubby kid in high school, and Amy Smart was like his best friend. Who friend zoned him that he like like she was the only person nice to him and didn't bully him and stuff like that too, right?
Yep.
And she friend zones him and everything. And then he becomes like some hotshot Hollywood agent or something.
Yep.
And he gets super. He looks like Ryan Reynolds now.
Yeah.
So
turned into Ryan Reynolds.
Turned into Ryan Reynolds, and now he is back home for Christmas to like see his mom's like wacky and treats him like a kid still, right?
Yeah.
And he's back home and he's trying to get with Amy Smart, who still lives in the hometown.
Mm-hmm.
But he brings Anna Faris, who is his client. She's like a pop star.
Yeah.
So that's what he is. He's a music. He's
you pretty much nailed it on the head.
So he's a music like agent. He's like a tour agent.
He works for a record label. Or something like that.
And so he's got this pop star in his house, and is like his little brother's like obsessed with her.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't remember.
So he's like this he's a little chubby kid, high school. It's like they're like a graduation party or something like that. And his best friend is Amy Smart, who's like the hottest girl in school, and she's the only person nice to him. And just like you said, but like he's gonna confess to her that he's like he loves her or whatever at this party, and somebody steals like his paper that he wrote everything down. It's actually her boyfriend, and he reads it to the whole party.
Oh.
And so he's so embarrassed by it, and that he takes off and he never comes back, and he goes to LA and he becomes a record executive.
I'd say that's a win.
Yeah, and so and then Anna Faris plays like this mix of like Britney Spears,
but like even dumber.
Yeah, super dumb and like trashy, just pop star. And they're supposed to go to Paris, and they used to date. So like that was their whole thing, is they used to date, and he broke up with her. And they're supposed to go to Paris, but something happens and he ends up going back home for Christmas. And his little brother's obsessed with her. And so he's always like, he finds out that she still lives Amy still lives in his hometown, or Amy Smart still lives in the hometown. And so he's like trying to get back with her. He's trying to like, woo her back and be like, oh, look at me now. Mm-hmm. And so he keeps telling his little brother, he's like, just watch her 3 hours. I'll be back. And then like, it's really funny. And there's a scene like where, I cannot remember the actor's name, but he was like another loser in high school with him. Mm-hmm. And he's like a big old hunk. He's a EMS.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying to get with her too, and they're competing.
It's the guy from American Pie, American Pie movies, but I can't remember his name. I was trying to think of his name for another movie, and I was re-listening to some old episodes, mm-hmm. and I was listening to our video game movies episode, and he's in a really shitty movie called Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, and that's what made me think of him. And now I've got to like look it up to see his name, because I couldn't think of his name on that episode.
Yeah. Amy Smart's character's name.
Chris Klein.
Chris Klein. That's it. Yeah. And so Chris Klein's like also trying to get back with Jamie, and
his character's name in that is Dusty Dinkelman.
That's it. Yeah. Dusty. And
I remember, doesn't he pull out a guitar, keep trying to play guitar?
He's always playing guitar and like singing songs about her.
Which is funny. So he's competing for Amy Smart with him. At any point when he pulled out that guitar, if I worked for a record label, I've been like, "You're never gonna make it, man."
Yeah, you work for a record label.
Like you can already one up that.
Yeah, you could be like, Jamie, that's very terrible. Yeah. And she probably listened to you. You'd be like, oh,
but he knows.
But and then like I guess it's like super awkward for him, because it was his best friend, and like he doesn't know how to act. Like he's super hunk dude, millionaire, and she ends up like really liking him, and he just can't like make it work, and it's like all the bad things are just happening. Mm-hmm. Like, and he just can't make it work. But it's a good film. You should go watch it. Yeah,
didn't even consider it. I remember like he takes her ice skating and stuff like that. So
yeah, he takes her ice skating, and he beats all the kids up in hockey. Like he's checking them.
Which doesn't Ryan Reynolds like play hockey in real life?
Yeah,
he's like a big fan of hockey, because he did it in Van Wilder too.
Yeah, he did.
He does, yeah. All right, moving on. Oh my, what do we want to tackle next? These movies.
Talk about some Christmas movies we hate.
We can. I'm not a fan of a lot of the classics.
Neither am I. There are some that I'll watch, especially like if somebody I'm with wants to watch them, but like,
or remakes of classics.
I don't like remakes either.
I do not like Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, I really don't care for any of the Grinch movies.
I don't either.
I think the only one I'll actually like sit down and watch is the Jim Carrey one.
Carrey one.
Yeah, just because Jim Carrey. I hate to say this, but I'm not a big fan of White Christmas.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's an old one. It's a musical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't think I've.
What?
Yeah. You pulled something out that I don't have any clue about.
You've never seen White Christmas?
Nah.
It's like during the war. It's a musical. It's an older movie. It's on Netflix.
I'll check it out. I never.
Literally. Okay.
Also, what was what's the classic one with Jimmy Stewart in it? Every time a bell rings, an angel gets.
Oh, that's fucking.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, Wonderful Life.
I heard I forgot where I was reading this, but that was never even meant to be a Christmas movie.
It wasn't. Well, here's a hot take. I hate Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I don't like the stop animation.
I have never been a big fan of stop animation, and I don't like like the Year Without Santa Claus stuff and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of any of that.
How you feel about the Charlie Brown Christmas?
I don't care for it.
I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do it for me.
I get it. I get it if I was like a little kid.
Yeah.
Now
people that still have like the Charlie Brown Christmas trees and stuff like that, I'm like,
take it down.
I was like, I didn't like it when I was a kid. I like Peanuts. Don't get me wrong. I like the cartoon. Like I like the comic strip. But I don't. I start in a play about Charlie Brown for God's sakes.
Here's one. One that you talked about it, and I was like, I haven't seen that movie since I was maybe 10 years old. Let's go back and watch it. The Santa Claus, starring Tim Allen. I went back and watched it, and you're right. I fucking hated
It's
it.
terrible.
I hated that movie. I didn't crack a smile once.
Yeah.
I sat there.
It's not funny.
And it's all the fucking jokes fall flat.
I have a weird love-hate with Tim Allen because I hate most everything he's in, and I think he tries too hard. And I don't know if it's just the movies he chooses to be in are so cheesy or corny that it's just bad to me. But like, I like Galaxy Quest as one of my favorite movies ever. I think the best Star Trek movie is Galaxy Quest. But like everything else Tim Allen's in, I just can't watch. Even Home Improvement, I could never get. I can't do it.
I don't know, but like the kid in the movie, I hated the kid.
Yeah,
I hated the elves, the child elves,
the terrible animatronic reindeer.
Yeah. Also, like Tim Allen in that movie is like a terrible parent. Like,
yeah,
there's scenes. I wrote something down here. There's like a scene where like his son's like trying to like ask him. Somebody told him Santa Claus doesn't exist. One, if your child comes up to you and says, "Hey, is Santa real?" Don't fucking lie to your kid. Be like, yeah, he's not real. It's a thing for the holidays. That's what my parents did to me, and I think that's the best. Because you know what I did? I didn't cry. I was like, oh,
that's a shame.
Okay,
I'll try not to go tell the other kids.
Yeah, I'll try to keep the miracle alive or whatever. But like his son's like, is Santa real? And he's like, of course Santa's real. And he's like, well, then how does he fit down a chimney? And he just like does a terrible job of explaining it. And then he's like, what about people who don't have chimneys? And he's like,
as a fan of Transformers, I would say mass shifting.
But there's like
the science.
There even like the when Santa falls off the roof, like the one thing I can't stand is when Santa falls off the roof, Tim Allen's outside and he sees Santa Claus on the roof and he's like, hey, and Santa Claus falls off the roof and hits the ground, and his son Charlie comes outside, who was inside, comes outside and goes, you killed him. What? You just assumed your father murdered a man that you had no, like, if the cops pulled up, he'd literally be like, you killed him. He killed him. I saw it.
Yeah, we got a witness.
Yeah.
It's like, kid, will you take a statement?
Yeah, he'd be like, yeah, my father killed Santa Claus all day long. And then,
and they don't believe in Santa Claus, so it's just homicide.
It's homicide.
Or do they have castle doctrine in this movie? Because he was on his roof.
Yeah. And then Tim Allen, like...
You're not even thinking about that.
And then, like, the cards, like, put on the suit, the reindeer, I don't know what to do. Tim Allen puts on the fucking Santa jacket. That's tampering with the crime scene.
Yeah.
That's 20 years, bud. Like...
Doesn't the Santa, like, vanish away like fucking Vader and
Yeah,
Obi-Wan?
he sinks down like... And Tim Allen goes... Guys running around somewhere naked. Like, that's what he says. Like, he like just like so doesn't believe in magic or whatever.
I would have believed in Jedi at that point.
Yeah, I would have been like, shit, Obi-Wan? Like, yeah, Obi-Wan comes out, go to the Dagobah system. Is Empire Strikes Back? Is that a Christmas?
Go, Luke, deliver the presents.
But yeah, it's just a terrible fucking film. All the Santa Claus films I hate. I didn't even bother watching the next two. I actually watched a Shaggy Dog after that.
I told you I saw that in theaters, the Santa Claus.
As a child?
Yeah, as a child.
Like
I saw it in theaters when it came out, and I think at that point even I was already at an age where I was just like, this is beneath me, as like this is not even up to my 12-year-old humor or whatever. Like I was already too old for that, I think. What do you think about? This is one I've actually never took the time to watch all the way through. I'm going to name a couple that I haven't watched all the way through.
Okay.
And they have varying degrees of popularity. One is The Polar Express.
I hate The Polar Express.
I think it has the CG wasn't up to par yet, and it's got a weird...
I'd say they tried to do too much.
It's got like an uncanny valley thing. Like it's hard to look at.
Yeah, they're all like glass-eyed.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I don't know. I never was a big fan of The Polar Express.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I've never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So
I'm super ashamed to say I haven't seen it all the way through.
I am too. So I've never seen it. I want to watch it though. Who's in that? That's
John Candy and Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And Scrooged.
Scrooged with
Bill Murray.
With Bill Murray. I kind of like Scrooged. It's not one that I like put on, but if it's on, I'll watch it.
I've watched it all the way through, but I haven't watched it in probably 20 years.
Oh wow.
So, I need to rewatch it probably, honestly, to appreciate it because I do love Bill Murray.
Some Christmas movies I went and watched that I'd never seen just because they were like on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I went and watched two. I watched The Night Before Christmas. Night spelled Knight.
Oh dear.
This is a Vanessa Hudgens film, and
now you got me hooked.
So it's about a medieval knight is transported to present day, where he falls for a high school science teacher disillusioned by love. It's
sounds terrible.
Very terribly paced movie, and Vanessa Hudgens tries her darndest, and the acting's just not great. And then I also watched The Princess Switch, which is another Vanessa Hudgens Christmas film about 1 week before Christmas, a duchess switches places with an ordinary woman from Chicago because they look 100% identical for some reason. It's just another one of those shticks where it's like, oh, we switched places. Like The Parent Trap. It's The Parent Trap.
I was gonna say it would have been an Olsen's twin movie if they had stayed not cracked out.
And then they each fall in love like each other's. Whatever. Like they're both shit. Quit trying, Vanessa Hudgens. I'm sorry.
For all these cheesy Hallmark ones, I kind of want to watch Last Christmas with what's her name?
I've never seen Last Christmas.
It's got the Game of Thrones.
Amelia Clarke?
Yeah, it's got Amelia Clarke in it. I only watch that just so I can see her act as something not Daenerys.
You go watch Terminator or whatever.
I never watched Terminator Genesis.
I did. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Another Christmas movie I hate. It's not even a movie. I hate the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
I can't stand the Nutcracker.
I have seen the Nutcracker like in theater more times than I want to.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it too many to count. I've probably... My grandparents, for some reason, used to always... I don't know why, because they're not like big theater people, but for some reason, I've seen the Nutcracker so many fucking times.
I've gone with parents, girlfriends, I've seen it a bunch.
It got to the point where I would actually start sleeping in the theater. Like the Nutcracker would go, I'd be napping.
And it's really not that long, but it feels painfully long.
It feels like you... I remember the first time I went and watched it. This is a very early memory for me when I was probably like... I had to be like 7, 8. I don't know. When my parents... I felt like I was in that fucking theater for 12 hours. And I remember like just sitting there just, oh my God, what... When is this going to end? I remember looking at my grandmother and going, hey, can we like get the fuck out of here?
Zelda, stop playing. It's not playtime.
I'm sorry. I know you like the Nutcracker.
She pissed now. So here's some couple that are controversial I'll call them Christmas adjacent, just like Die Hard and Batman Returns. Lethal Weapon takes place in Christmas.
Does it?
Yeah.
I never realized that.
Yep,
I love
sure
Lethal Weapon.
In fact, Lethal Weapon starts with Jingle Bell Rock playing at the opening of the movie, and it ends with I'll Be Home for Christmas. That's the opening and closing songs of that movie.
Wow.
So, yeah. But everyone gives Die Hard all the credit.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Lethal Weapon than Die Hard, I think, any day. I would take Lethal Weapon over Die Hard.
Would you? I wouldn't. I'd take Die Hard over Lethal.
I don't know.
You could also, you got Nightmare Before Christmas on there.
Do you have Nightmare Before Christmas?
I consider that a Halloween movie.
It is split, like it's Halloween and Christmas, so I give it a pass.
See, it came out. October.
Zelda, we're gonna have to take a time out, hun. We're making the YouTubes.
Your dog's attacking me.
It'd be great if I had like a wife or something that could call my dog.
Nightmare Before Christmas came out October 13th. I looked it up because I wanted to be 100% sure. And I consider it a Halloween film. Thing about it, though, I don't understand why didn't they make other Nightmare Before movies, as in sequels.
Nightmare Before Easter.
Nightmare Before Valentine's Day.
That one would be fun.
That would be a fun movie.
You get a lot of proposals where they open up and it's like a finger with a ring on it.
Yeah,
Look at that. I'm writing it right now.
Tim Burton, you missed your shot, is all I got to say. Because I much would have rather seen like Nightmare Before Valentine's Day or Nightmare Before Thanksgiving. Where it's about the fucking the town fighting a bunch of Indians.
Nightmare Before Easter could get dark quick.
Oh, good. Jesus comes back. He's all the dead
zombie.
people.
Tim Burton would make a zombie Jesus movie. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Lazarus is there.
So here's one just for you. In case you have forgotten or have just been so scarred that you've buried it in your psyche. Eyes Wide Shut. It's a Christmas movie.
Is it? Have I told the story on here about me watching Eyes Wide Shut?
I think so.
I don't know if I've told it
Maybe
here.
not. Go ahead.
If I haven't, though, my first experience with Eyes Wide Shut, I was at a very young age. I had watched one of my all-time favorite films, Days of Thunder, starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, and I was like, as a child, for some reason, I was like, oh, wow, this Nicole Kidman, she's very beautiful. And then my grandmother had like this big VHS collection. And I was going through it, just finding out what movie I wanted to watch, because that's what I did as a kid when I was over at her house. And I saw Eyes Wide Shut, and there's a picture on the box of Nicole Kidman. And I was like, oh, this is the lady from Days of Thunder. Mm-hmm. I want to watch this movie because Nicole Kidman. And I watched it, and I was way too young to watch that film. And I was like, the whole time my jaw was just dropped.
And that's why you're fucked up.
Yeah, that's why I'm fucked up, because I watched Eyes Wide Shut when I was
Mine was seeing Gremlins when I was 7.
So, but wow, I guess, yeah, you're right. I did not know that was a Christmas film.
So there is actually on YouTube, you can find a recut trailer someone's done to make Eyes Wide Shut look like a happy, fun Christmas family movie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And where was this one? We already talked about that. I haven't gone through all the good ones. So let's talk about the best Christmas movie ever made, hands down, and that's A Christmas Story.
Do you think that's the best Christmas movie ever made?
I don't think it's the best one, but I don't know, man. It's hard to argue against it. I know people that hate A Christmas Story. I love it so much. It's probably my only real Christmas tradition is when they do the 24-hour marathon starting on Christmas Eve and like from 7 o'clock Christmas Eve to 7 o'clock. I will watch it at least once, and more than likely, I'll be sitting on the couch binging video games and just having it on the other TV the whole just on.
That was when my mom always threw on too. It was A Christmas Story, and it's got a lot of iconic lines. You'll shoot your eye out.
It's something easy comfort to have on while you're doing other things. Like you can come in at any point in that movie and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, I've always, I guess I really have like a real big connection to that movie, but it is a good film, and it's iconic. So.
Fun, weird story. I'd seen that movie when I was young. Obviously, I've seen it since I was little. But when I was in high school, So I'm like a senior in high school, and we had to do a reading out of a literature book for something. I might not have been a senior at this point, but I was in high school, I think. And we had to do a reading, and it was an excerpt from a book, and the chapter we were reading was called something like the asp bite, or something, the bite of the asp, or asp stings again, something like that. Anyway, the story was the scene from A Christmas Story where he comes home with the decoder ring and trying to figure out it ends up being an ad, the Little Orphan Annie thing.
Yeah.
That whole scene, that's what we read. And apparently, I guess A Christmas Story is a book, or is like a part of a larger story or something.
Okay.
So anyway, I thought that was really weird because I was sitting in class and I was like, does anyone else realize that we're reading a Christmas story? Right now? And it was just so weird for me because very surreal, I guess.
Yeah. And, I like I've always wanted a leg lamp.
Yeah.
with the table, with the lampshade on it.
I'm surprised I don't have one of those, honestly, because
I think they're actually kind of expensive.
Probably are now.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Four Christmases?
I've never actually seen Four Christmases.
I've watched it. I didn't really pay attention to it that much, so I didn't really care. But I do want to bring it up only because I've heard funny stories about behind the scenes about how much Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn hate each other's guts, and they still to this day won't work or talk to each other, or they won't work together. They won't speak to each other. They got into such fights during the filming of that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So apparently Vince Vaughn, obviously his acting style is a lot looser, and he likes to ad lib lines and kind of,
Oh, and I bet you Reese Witherspoon hated that.
She is super straight laced, stick to the script, don't change anything. So they just would get in arguments on set all the time because she'd be like, read the goddamn lines. And he's just like, that's just not how I work. That's not. There's my Vince Vaughn impression.
That's just not how I work. I'm just a guy. I'm a regular man.
That's not how I do lines.
have you? What is the fucking? Have you seen Jurassic Park 2?
I ad-libbed that entire movie. It's all improv.
They didn't even give me lines.
Improv 101, baby.
Vince Vaughn.
But yeah. So yeah, that about wraps it up for that. You want to talk about any music? Any Christmas music?
Last Christmas is not a Christmas song.
But yet, I will hear 20 different covers of it throughout a day, listening to Christmas music in a mall or something.
I heard it on the Christmas station on the way over here.
All right. I rest my case.
It's not. George Michael himself said.
Well, they also said that It's a Wonderful Life wasn't supposed to be a Christmas movie, but guess what? It's one of the most iconic Christmas movies of all time.
I'm just saying, George Michael himself said it just takes place around Christmas. That he met this girl around Christmas, or guy.
He might not. Maybe he shouldn't have named the song Last Christmas.
Maybe not. Wham! They might naming conflicts.
Largely, this is probably my biggest hot take for the whole episode. I absolutely despise Christmas music.
I working in retail has made me hate Christmas music. And there's only 2 Christmas songs that can come on if you consider Last Christmas a Christmas song that can come on and me actually enjoy both songs, and that's Last Christmas and Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
I fucking love that song. That song's great.
No, that gets old to me too. So here's my caveat to it. I grew up playing piano, obviously. Piano was the first instrument I learned. So I started playing when I was 5 or 6. And a lot of piano books obviously are Christmas based. So a lot of piano Christmas music, like the classics, like Hark the Herald Angels Sing and Silent Night and all that stuff, I actually love those songs. I love those musical pieces. I absolutely love the Carol of the Bells. Carol of the Bells was legit one of my favorite songs, period, of all time. Having said that, I hate modern Christmas music. I hate all of it. I think Christmas music is so terrible that even Paul McCartney and John Lennon were unable to write a good Christmas song, because those are 2 of my least favorite. 2 of the greatest songwriters that ever lived, and they wrote 2 of the worst Christmas songs I've ever heard. I hate Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas. That makes me want to blow.
It's really tough to write, I guess, a good Christmas song that can that everybody can jam to.
And then John Lennon's, what is his? Is the one where it's got the freaking chorus of children doing the wow, 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 wow. All these children out of key singing. It's like, what is going on? I hate it. Hate it.
I don't like older Christmas. I definitely don't like newer Christmas music. A lot of it, it's just not good to me. But older Christmas music, I can't sit there and listen to older Christmas music.
just polar opposites.
Especially, yeah, because like, especially like growing up and going to church or whatever. For some reason, we always went to church on Christmas, like with all my family. And the church that we went to was like the most monotone. Whatever they did, the bells.
Hear the organ.
Yeah, they had a giant ass organ, like took up all 3 walls, and then they always did a bell thing. I cannot stand to go to those fucking bell shows because it honestly makes my ears hurt. I gotta like stand up and go outside, take a smoke, just
outside the church.
Rough year this year.
Oh, that just derailed my train of thought. It was something to do with the old music. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, music. I can deal with Christmas music without lyrics. I think that's what it is.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of them.
Because most of it is like classical music, and it's well written.
You know, I like the Christmas Vacation theme song.
Oh, it is. That's actually a good song. Okay. That and believe it or not, I kind of do like Mariah Carey.
Do you?
Want for Christmas.
Oh god, most of it's overplayed, and I guess it's
that's the problem with it is because it's just on repeat for a whole month.
Yeah.
I thank God that there hasn't been I haven't been just inundated with it since Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah.
Like we got really lucky, honestly, that our work doesn't just blast Christmas music.
Every now and then they'll play.
They sneak one
song.
in.
Yeah.
But it's.
And you're not on the floor a lot. On the floor, you'll hear it all the time. But like,
yeah, I'm back there with my own music.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Like they played a Christmas song the other night, and then they played Ozzy Osbourne right after that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I love Christmas.
Favorite Christmas songs. I don't want to stop.
Yeah. I was like, "Yes."
Oh Lord.
So,
yeah, I don't have anything else to say about music. Christmas video games. I don't play anything that's a Christmas theme video game, but I will sneak.
Is there any?
There are. There's actually ones that they've done, and then they've done themed ones like the Escapists and stuff like that. They've done Christmas themes on that. It's mostly skins of stuff. Yeah. Obviously, Animal Crossing does like a whole Christmas theme during Christmas. They do all the holiday themes. But I am bringing this video game up for like the 15th time on this podcast. Parasite Eve, best Christmas video game.
What is it?
Parasite Eve.
What is that?
So you've never been on this podcast when I've talked about it. Okay, so Parasite Eve. Hopefully they're actually going to do a 21 remake of this game. Parasite Eve is a Square Enix RPG. It's an action RPG though, so you can walk around and move. You're not like it's not like push a button and attack kind of thing. Like you're actually running around. So Parasite Eve. I'm actually so glad I'm telling this to someone who doesn't know what it is, and I can actually explain this.
Talk about it.
It makes it worth it to say. So Parasite Eve is based on a book that was written by a Japanese pharmacist, and it's based on a lot of science, basically about biology and what's called the mitochondria.
I know that's the powerhouse of the cell.
Powerhouse of the cell.
I will never forget that.
So the mitochondria is actually an independent thinking like organism inside your cells. It actually is. Yeah, it's actually like we don't understand.
It's like midichlorians.
Yeah, kind of. Actually, I think they got midichlorian from mitochondria. They were like it was a play. It was a play on that word. But so in the book and in the game is actually supposed to be like a direct sequel to the book. It's there's been like a jump in human evolution where the mitochondria have started like basically thinking and like overcharging themselves, and they're like basically like midichlorians. certain people can control their mitochondria to like basically evolve their bodies into these like grotesque like Cronenberg body horror things.
Geez.
So there's this one character, her name is Eve, and she like without spoiling too much, she received like a blood transfusion or something. She was in the hospital and real sick or whatever, and she gets like this person's blood or whatever, and it makes her mitochondria. It's like the person from the book or whatever. She got like a blood transfusion, and she's now able to like talk to the mitochondria, and it's very kind of like Jedi-esque, and she can control the mitochondria and other creatures and stuff too. But the other people out there that have this like blood or received that person's blood aren't affected by it, and they can use the mitochondria for their own powers. And so you follow the main character. His name is Aya Bray, and she's not a rookie. She's a police officer she's just a young police officer. She's like 21 in the like supposed to be, and she goes to the opera one night on a date it's like 2 days before Christmas. The whole thing takes place the week of Christmas. So like it starts on a Monday and ends on like Saturday, 6 or 7 days or whatever, and it ends on Christmas. And the whole opening scene is Christmas in New York, Times Square, and all this stuff. And it even says Merry Christmas 1997 or 1998, whenever it came out, all that stuff. And she goes to the opera, and that opera singer, awakens that night. Like her fucking mitochondria take over her brain. She goes crazy, and she starts lighting people on fire.
Oh, fuck.
And so like it's crazy scene. I'm gonna show you the opening cinematic because it's fucking nuts. And so she starts lighting people on fire and starts like creating these body horror monsters, like the rats that are in the back of the theater start growing, like their bones jut out through their snout and their teeth grow and like all this stuff, and they become these weird mutant like crazy rats. She does it to like alligators. She goes to the Central Park Zoo and turns like all the animals like into her crazy beasts. And so now she has this army of like crazy beasts and stuff. Like her. She's a crazy beast.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Zelda, go get your bone, please. I'm trying to tell a story here.
Get your bone. Get your bone. Go get your bone. Go get your bone. Yeah, yeah.
This is what recording with a husky is like. She's totally like, what? So anyway, but you play as this rookie cop, and you're one of the people, like, she received like a kidney transplant when she was in a car accident when she was a kid. And so she has that blood too. So she's not affected by it. So she's now like the only one who can go take this like person down. That's basically the whole thing. And you use what's called parasite energy, where you can use your mitochondria to like heal yourself and things like that. So it explains like what in a normal RPG would be magic and things like that is actually your parasite power. And you can do it to like do haste, like speed up and slow down and time and things like that. And it's just basically magic you would have in an RPG, but it's called parasite energy. But other than that, you use like submachine guns and like pistols and like rocket launchers and everything you can use at your disposal as your actual weapons. But it's got crazy set pieces. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Probably my favorite PlayStation 1 game, along with Metal Gear Solid. And it is absolutely nuts. Now, after we're done recording this, I'm going to show you the opening scene because it's crazy. But they've been talking about doing, because they just did the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah.
Apparently, the director of that, who was a guy who was really involved in Parasite Eve when it first came out, and he said that it would be a shame that we have this engine that runs Final Fantasy VII and not do a Parasite Eve remake. So like, it's gotten huge traction on the internet that they might be doing a remake, and I would be like, I'd be super psyched because that game is awesome. But yeah, takes place in Christmas. That's where we got there.
During Christmas time.
During Christmas. Christmas TV. We don't even need to get into that. Is there any favorite TV Christmas special episodes that you like?
Not off the top of my head.
The Office does it, I know, every season.
Yeah.
I didn't watch The Office that much though.
Neither did I. I definitely like the Family Guy Christmas ones, and then the South Park Christmas ones. I've always loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's nothing straight off the top of my head. The only other Christmas film I think I would actually want to mention is probably Elf, with Will Ferrell. It's one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies.
Hot take, don't like Elf.
What?
Yep.
Why not?
I don't know. I watched Elf under really weird circumstances.
What weird circumstances would you watch Elf under?
So I watched Elf over at so I had this friend of mine who was really good at, like, she was a great wingman. She was good at hooking me up with her friends and stuff like that in college.
Okay.
And there was one girl in particular I had a crush on and thought she had a crush on me, kind of thing. And that friend was trying to set us up. So she's like, oh, come over and help me like paint my house and everything. I went over there and the girl was over there and I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's a setup thing. So we're painting the house. We're chilling, having a good time, crooning him with the guitar kind of thing, all that stuff. Well, then this girl really wanted to watch Elf. And I'm like, okay. So I had to suffer through this movie like next to this girl and obviously I'm just trying to get laid.
You're watching Will Ferrell make a fucking fool of himself.
I ran into that girl today.
Did you?
Yeah, I still see her all the time. It's fine. We're friends. Yeah. I still see her. It was just kind of funny that I had to tell a story on this podcast about her, and I literally just ran into her like 5 hours ago. But anyway, if she's listening, I'm not gonna say her name, but if you're listening, yeah, you remember. it was college, weird times. But you're the reason I don't really think I ever watched and paid attention to Elf and thought.
I blame you.
I was thinking about other things than that movie. So when I watched that movie, it was more of a hurry up and be over.
I love Elf. I've always liked Elf.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Like I said, it's not like I had a bad experience with it because I mean I did end up dating that girl for a while. Like it wasn't like a
Okay.
yeah. It's not like it scarred me or something. I didn't when someone like forces you into watching a movie you weren't ready for or you're not playing like you didn't have any.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't plan on watching a movie and now I'm buckled up for an hour and a half or whatever like against my will.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think of Elf.
I really like the cast.
I was taken hostage by Elf.
I really like the cast of that movie. Will Ferrell's always been hilarious to me, and then Zooey Deschanel, and then James Caan.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved James Caan, and he's in like a lot of weird movies like that too. That's probably like the most James Caan film that you would never expect him to be in. And he's like, what does he do? He's like I can't remember his job or whatever. He's like I think he gives loans out or something like that. But like, he's just like he's like a big Scrooge. That's what it is. He's just a big Scrooge. And then there's like an orphanage and like, we need books for the children. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to get you the books. Or he does something with books. I think that's what it is. But, yeah. You wouldn't know because you don't like Elf.
Because I was not watching the screen.
Now I'm going to go watch Elf.
All right.
For you.
So I guess we should wrap it up. Well, this has been fun. Thanks, Garrett, again for coming on, and look forward to doing the Star Wars episode.
I'll be back for episode 2.
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Excited about that.
The worst of the prequels.
Yeah. Maybe I don't say so.
I can make it good.
It's not the worst one overall, though, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. That's an argument for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, check us out on our Twitter at Hello Tangent. You can check me out at Rev Snakebite. You can check Garrett out. I think he's got one.
Yeah, I got a Twitter. I don't ever post on it, but if you guys want to throw me some follows, I don't know my Twitter handle. I wasn't prepared.
Good job. We'll get it out there later. I'll tweet his
yeah, tag me.
You can also find us on Twitch. I'll probably be Twitch streaming. I about went into the Mike Tyson voice.
Mike Tyson.
I'm gonna be Twitch streaming tonight. I'm the best streamer of all time. So I'm gonna be streaming probably tonight some Cyberpunk, or I'll just be binge playing it for God knows how long. My life. This is going to take my life up. But yeah, I'll probably be streaming that, and you can find that at Twitch is hello_tangent. And yeah, you can also check out our Patreon if you want to throw some dollars. It always goes right back into making this podcast better. And like I said, stay tuned. We'll have Star Wars stuff coming up soon. The first episode will be recorded tomorrow with Austin. Good times. I'm excited. I got a lineup. We're going to go back onto it real quick. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guests lined up.
6 guests. 6 guests, 6 movies.
I've got you. Well, each one's probably going to do 2 movies, so that'll cover all of them.
Okay.
And then I have one person who is specifically requesting to come do Clone Wars, the TV show, with me.
Really?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. I'll see if I can get him on.
Which Clone Wars? The 2008 or whatever one? The Cartoon Network one?
Yeah.
Or the...
Well, both, because it got bought by Disney and finished.
Yeah, I got it.
The whole series, I guess.
I'm actually a bigger fan of the original Clone Wars.
I can see that. Technically, there is a movie, The Clone Wars, that was released in theaters.
Oh, yeah. I went and saw that in theaters. Did you know that?
I did too. Yep. I saw it in theaters. I actually have it on DVD in there.
Well, really? You're the only person in the world.
Maybe. But all right. Yeah. So 6 guests coming up. That's how we're going to kick off January. I'll probably have one more solo top 10 before the year is out. But thank you for listening. And we will see you soon. And bye-bye.